Okay, welcome everyone. Bill Dow here. Super excited about this video. I really am. I love this one. Today's video is about influence without authority. How do project managers show influence without authority? How do you get those resources to work just a little bit longer for you? I've been doing this for a long time. And what I thought I'd do is tell a quick story about when I had the chance of running a project and actually having the functional or the direct authority over a team. I've been in the project management industry a long time. And I started my first project in 1991 at the Ministry of Transportation and Highways in Victoria, BC. Yes, I am Canadian. It's been an amazing ride. I've had ups and downs and bruises and successes, and it's really been an amazing experience. But let me tell you, in all that time, I have had only one chance and 1 year where I actually ran a team and had a direct authority, right? So that means all these other years, I've had to use my influence without authority skills. I've done very well with that. But again, and I'll explain that down below, but again, it's a key component of a project manager, and you're just not going to get that level of direct authority over your team, right? Does that sound familiar? Are you in that same boat where you don't actually manage your project team? You have to work with project resources? Yeah. It's really a rare occasion where project managers have direct authority over the team members on their project because it doesn't make sense. Why would a project manager have a direct hire-fire over a developer, over a tester, over an engineer, an architect, right? Do you agree with that? Okay, let me continue my story. Anyway, I was working as a contract project manager in the mid-2000s, and I was working at a local city government. We were doing projects in the water department, okay? I had on my project team, I had a business analyst, I had a developer, I had a tester, I had a designer, right? So in total, we had a complete vendor project management team, me being the vendor as well, and all my project resources were vendors, and we all worked for the same company. One of my responsibilities as a project manager for that contracting company was to be the direct manager of those resources. So for 1 full year, I had that project team. I was the direct project manager, and I was the hire-fire or the functional manager for that direct team. Interesting, right? So in 30 plus years of my career in the project management industry, I've had one chance over a course of 1 year to hire and fire resources, and I actually took advantage of that one time. I had to replace, in that scenario, I had to replace my business analyst and brought a new one in. So all my other years and all this time, I've had to really increase my influence without authority skills. But for that 1 year on that one project, I actually didn't have to use those skills because I was the direct manager. But in most cases, really, project managers are dealing with resource managers, and the resource managers deal with their particular resources. So a developer gets assigned to a project. You as a project manager, you have to use your influence without authority skills because you don't have that direct responsibility. Contract scenarios are quite different. But why is this so important, right? Well, with project managers and projects competing for resources, right? You want the resources working for your project to be connected to you. You want them to work that little bit longer. You want them to have that buy-in, and you want to show your influence over them without having that direct authority. Does that make sense? Functionally, though, it wouldn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense that you as a project manager would be the functional manager over a developer or over a tester. You don't have that development skill set or that testing skill set or that architect skill set or that business requirement skill set necessarily. You want the right functional managers to be involved and really drive those team members. But without that direct authority, right, that project managers have to be much crisper in their communications. They have to be much clearer in how they connect with resources, or they're not going to build that influence. Right? So it's really important that you understand the skill sets. There's great books, there's great videos, there's great discussion, but this is a key part, and this is the art of project management. But this is a key part of your success, is having those influence without authority skills. All right, quick reminder. If you like this video, you like these topics, please like and subscribe, hit that little bell button, but let's keep continuing. But before we do though, I do have a question for you. Do you struggle with influence without authority on your projects? Can you have that resource that you need to work a little bit longer on a Friday night, or come in on a Saturday and work on your project, or a Sunday or weekend, right? Do you have that influence? Can you get any team member on your teams, on your project teams, to work a little bit longer, to work on a weekend, to work on a day off? Can you do that? Right? Because if you do, you've really nailed this influence without authority skill. I don't think you will. In most cases, we often struggle with that, but that's okay. But that's what we're talking, right? How do you show influence on these resources to get them to work a little bit longer, to get them to be really engaged on your projects without having that direct authority? Interesting, right? Well, are you interested in how I do it and how I've done it for years and years? Let me give you some best practices. Okay, number one, you have to set clear expectations and clear guidelines, right? You have to, on your projects, right? It's really important that you nail that science part, but you also have to explain to the team members and the resources the why. Why are you asking them to come in on the weekend? Why are you asking them to work 3 or 4 hours later? Right? Explaining the why is going to better connect you with your resources, and you're going to be much more successful. Be a giver. Be helpful. Be resourceful. Move your roadblocks, right? Make sure your team members understand you're invested in them, you're invested in their success, and they are going to turn around and be invested in yours. So when they see that you're invested and you want them to be successful and you want them to have great wins, they're going to do that for you as well. Finally, number 3, celebrate success. I can't stress enough, when project resources are hitting it and knocking it out of the park, celebrate that. Right? Make sure you're seeing the wins. Make sure you're getting through phase gates and you're celebrating those phase gates, especially in this remote environment. But that's going to help you influence. That's going to help your team members be connected to you and be connected to the project, and really drive to the success of a project. What do you think? Does that make sense? I have been doing this for years, and so I wanted to share some of those best practices so you can start implementing those on your projects. Quick reminder, please go like, subscribe, hit the little bell, right? But it's really important you watch my next video on how project team members have no time for templates and processes, and what do you as a project manager do about that, right? I'm excited to share that. It's listed right here on my channel. Go check it out. Thank you very much. I'll see you online.